What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be discussing how to have a wait list of clients who are ready to pay you top dollar. It's always a good feeling when your gym is full and you kind of have a wait list. That's a great feeling. I remember when I was a one-on-one trainer and people were asking me for things and times, and I couldn't fit anyone else in. And it was a sad moment as a business person at the time because I'm like, oh man, I can't make any more money. My time is full. But, as a gym owner, this is a great, great feeling. And Jimmy's gym is actually bursting at the seams right now. So we're going to talk about how to have that wait list and what to do when you get to that level. So, Jimmy, let's talk about the wait list. The most important thing is going to be auditing your service. It's impossible to fill a leaky bucket. 10 clients in, 10 clients out, no growth. 10 clients in, 12 clients out, -2 growth. Not a good place to be. So first things we got to look at is what the clients are actually paying for, which is the service. So Jimmy, let's talk about auditing the service.
Yeah. So when we look at auditing your service and we look at how your gym is actually functioning, how your trainers are actually functioning, there are ways that you do that on a consistent cadence, and then there's ways that you do that in somewhat of a random cadence. So let's talk about the consistent cadence first. So we talked about this on some other episodes, but the consistent cadence has to do with your meeting structure with your team, right? So it could be your meeting structure, it could be your manager's meeting structure with them. But this comes down to making sure that you are in the know, or your manager's in the know, with what's going on with your team, what things they think can improve the business, all this kind of stuff. So first, consistent cadence is your numbers meeting. Your numbers meeting is the meeting that you're going to have with your core staff. So this doesn't typically include part-timers. This doesn't typically include people that are not that don't have other responsibilities to your gym. So this is going to include the full-time coaches that also have other responsibilities. So your manager, your full-time evening guy, your full-time morning guy, and they're going to have other tasks that are associated with their benchmarks that they have to hit. So whether that's calling leads, doing administrative tasks, whatever it may be. So all of these people are in the know in terms of what's going on in your business on a regular basis. And this numbers meeting comes down to retention, client growth, freezes, reasons for these things. And on top of that, the more important thing after you look at the numbers is, what are the initiatives that we're going to change, or what are the things that we're going to do about those numbers when we look at them? So structure is talk about the numbers, talk about what the problems are, then you drop those down to another part of the meeting where you talk about what the solutions are going to be to those things. So these are opportunities for your staff to express what is going wrong in the business and what solutions they have come up with to fix some of these things. So, for example, a lot of the stuff that we talk about right now is gym flow and how the flow of the gym is, how the sessions run, with if they're crowded, if they feel crowded, how we can make them feel less crowded, and if people are getting taken care of in the right way by some of our part-time coaches. So my main coaches have been seasoned and trained up to the point where they can identify what's going on with either part-timers or identify what's going on with themselves that they can improve. So there's sections in these meetings where we talk about, how can I, as a trainer, one of my trainers, improve their ability on the floor, and what areas of opportunity they have. So they're going to list an area of opportunity and an area of excellence. So they're going to self-audit, and then we can talk about what's going on with that. So that's number one. We do that as a group. Okay. So that's a baseline thing that happens all the time.
Wait, Jimmy, so you go around the room and you ask them what are areas of improvement? What do you ask them again? What are the two questions?
So it's areas of opportunity and areas of excellence. So what that is the coach will self-audit and they'll say, I could have done better with this week, or I did really well with this week. So it could be, I could have done better at using clients' names on a regular basis. because we want to make sure that we use clients' names. We have rules around using clients' names. I could have done better with this standard. And then they say, I did really well with getting nitpicky with the technique of the clients and showing them the wow moment in their sessions. Or it could be the other way. I need to do better at coaching this movement, or I struggled coaching this client. And we can talk about it as a team as to how we can improve upon those areas of opportunity. So we list those things out, they do a self-audit, and that's my main coaches do that. We do that in our full staff coaching session as well, but we take that opportunity in our full staff coaching session, which is the other automatic thing that happens throughout the week, to actually dive into each movement pattern and coach it, and have our other staff members screw up the movement in the way that they're struggling with, so that we can walk them through how they're going to fix that movement. We can walk them through how they're going to fix that interpersonal connection issue. We're going to walk them through it and actually role play it. So you have your main meeting, numbers meeting, main staff. The other thing that exists on a regular basis, trainer meeting, full staff meeting, where we actually dive into and role play things. And the third thing that we do on an automatic basis, on a consistent cadence, is one-on-one individual meetings, where your staff can, in confidence, tell you things in a vacuum where there's not other people around that need to be brought to your attention. So this is an opportunity where if people don't feel comfortable sharing things about other staff members, sharing things about certain clients in the group setting, they can share it with you in a private setting, and you keep that time for them so that they can better express to you what's going on. So that's all of the general cadence stuff that we have that exists in our facility to make sure that our trainers are self-auditing, we're auditing what's going on in the business, and we can take action from that staff, because you empower your staff to take the actions that they need and come up with the solutions. It's not about you coming up with the solutions. You need to put it on them because it's their job, right? So if there's a bigger issue, these things come up in this normal cadence. They'll come up and you can address them if there's bigger issues, okay? Like a certain staff member is not pulling their weight, right? You'll hear that from other staff members. You'll be able to find it out, and you'll be able to make the changes that need to be made there. So that's the normal cadence stuff. Any thoughts or questions on that before I jump into the random stuff? Anthony?
No, that was good, man. I wanted to cover, actually, I don't know if you're going to cover it, but I was going to cover, you have to have standards, guys. So Jimmy talked about the meeting, right? And the meeting and what goes on with the different meetings and how to make sure your staff is improving their abilities, right? That's part of the audit. But the other thing that I would say that you have to have before you even are able to audit anything is, do you have rules that the trainers need to follow when a session is taking place? How do they turn on the TV? What volume is the radio? What happens when someone walks in? How many coaching cues do they have? We have what we call our 8 rules of a training session, and we basically go through what happens when someone comes in. You know, Jimmy mentioned, you know, how many times you have to say their name during a session. We have that too. We even have it so as far as to say how many words of encouragement somebody gets, because we want it to be able to be systematized and want it to be able to be the same experience for the clients, regardless if Jimmy's in the gym or I'm in the gym, the clients get the same experience. And if you don't have that as part of your operations, like your trainer should have basically like a checklist every session of what they need to be doing in order to have a great session. What does a great session look like to your gym? Can you define that? Well, our great session has to do with how many of these rules in a training session are hit. So I just wanted to cover that point.
100%. Yeah, and that's something that's a little bit glossed over in the process. It's alluded to, right? But good thing to point that out, because that's what all of this is based upon, right? These meetings don't really matter if there's not a standard that you're holding people to. So very good point. Now, when we look at the random ways that we can do quality assurance and audit the gym, is coming from your manager and coming from you. I encourage owners and managers to work out at their facility when sessions are operating. Because if you work out at your facility when sessions are operating a couple of times a week, you will pick up on and see things during your rest periods of your workout that you may not see otherwise. So that's kind of a random quality assurance. It's also walking through the gym, spotting a member, having a conversation with them, whatever it may be. That time is time well spent. So don't think that it's wasted time for you to be at the gym, talking to members, engaging with them, seeing how their workout's going, seeing how their day's going. Just like at a restaurant, when the manager comes out and checks in on how your meal is doing, fills up your water and walks away. That person is making sure that everything is flowing properly. They're not just doing it because they're bored. They're not just doing it because they don't have anything else to do. They're doing it because they are testing quality assurance of the product, of the service, and of the experience of the client. So when you're going out randomly on the floor, you have a little bit of a break. Maybe your manager has a break between sales meetings or whatever it may be. They can utilize that time to go out on the floor and check in on the coaching quality, to look at what's going on in the session, to see if there's anything coming up. And they can take your trainer to the side really quick and quietly say, hey, I need you to do more of this. I need you to do more of that. It's not a thing where you take them off the floor and you reprimand them in the office or whatever. You lean over and you quietly talk to them and say, hey, these people in these stations are kind of getting forgotten right now. So I need you to make sure that you continue to pay attention to them. Or have you used names to the point where you feel like you're satisfied, right? And you can have these tactful, pointed comments to your trainer, even during the session that they're coaching, and get better output because it's in the moment. Boom, you see it and you change it, right? So work out at your facility a couple times a week so that you can see the gym from a different perspective. Doesn't have to be every time. I understand some workouts are harder than others, right? But a couple times a week, you're working out during sessions. And then when you have gap time between onboarding meetings or whatever it may be, jump out on the floor, talk to some members, hang out, but observe how it's flowing. Is it the best quality session? Is this the best service to be delivered? Are there things that can be improved upon? Because that randomness helps to take kind of like a core sample or a biopsy of the whole muscle of the gym, as you'd say, and get an evaluation of what's going on with the gym on a random cadence, as opposed to just a cadence that your staff is going to share with you. Because sometimes the cadence that your staff's going to share with you isn't enough, but that's one of the reasons why you need a manager, because that manager is then going to be able to report that back to you because their role is quality assurance.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. So guys, that's what you have to do. I mean, there's no other way around it. That's the only way. You have your staff member, like I said, is your front line workers. Some of the most, and we could talk about like a chess game quick. The most important pieces sometimes are the pawns, and it all depends on where you put them. So you got to put your staff in the right place so that they can protect your gym and reduce that churn rate. So this way your gym can get full and every client you add sticks. Guys, if you want help with any of this, make sure you click the links below. Book your call with us today, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.